mammal.
Well, yeah, she falls in that gray zone, literally.
How big is she now? How old is she?
So Mabel was born on October 1st, so she will be 3 months old in just over a week. So we do not get weights sometimes at the very beginning, but on day 5 she weighed 19 pounds, and last week she weighed 76. So they grow very fast.
When she gets to be full grown, how big will she be?
An average female is about 350 pounds. So by about a year old, they're pretty close to a little more than halfway there. So they grow fast. It's like they have their babies and they get that milk in them and they grow.
She's like one of the only ladies that'll be happy to
grow
over
fast.
Over the holidays. Right?
Exactly.
So before we got started, you told me a little bit about how you guys get ready before like the big reveal in the exhibit. Talk to me what those past couple of months have been like.
Sure, and actually we start preparation way before we even get to that point. So our female is trained for ultrasound. So the keepers are able to have her stand still and we can ultrasound her throughout the entire pregnancy. So we know pretty close within a couple days when that baby's going to be born. And then we actually keep the female inside in the holding for the birth because as you can see, the water's very deep, so we don't want to have the baby born on exhibit. And then hippo calves actually have to learn how to swim. They don't know how to swim when they're first born, and so obviously in the wild, the mother would gradually take it, wading in. Well, we have to control our water level because we don't have the river's edge. So we do the swimming lessons and holding, and then we do a few days of on exhibit before we invite all of you out, just to make sure that she really is strong enough. She knows where the ledges are. We're always comfortable that she knows how to swim. It's just she has to navigate the exhibit. So.
In terms of how she's swimming and how she's doing, how has Mabel been doing so far?
She's doing great. In fact, I watched her do something that I've never seen any of the other calves do. She was with intent going down to the bottom, pushing off, catching her breath, and going back down. And she did it across the entire exhibit window. So I think she's enjoying herself.
What was it like at first?
When they first go out,
they no,
and they don't struggle. They just are hesitant to go in. I mean, they always have one moment where they get a little deep, or and they're not aware, and then they're like, and they kick to the edge. So but as a hippo kid, I have to say, even in the wild, the moms are not coddling. So when you're born, you've got to be tough. You've got to stay near her. You've got to stay hidden when she hides you, and you've got to follow her when she moves. That's just the way life is as a hippo.
It looked like Mom was maybe trying to nudge her back into the water.
Yeah, and that's to keep her with her. So, but it's kind of tough love.
In terms of a pygmy hippo, what's the difference between a pygmy hippo and the big hippopotamuses we might see on
Way smaller, obviously, and they don't overlap in range in Africa either. About 1/5, 1/8 the size of a Nile hippo, so we obviously don't have those here at the zoo. Pygmy hippos are kind of that smaller, more secretive cousin of the river hippos, making it really difficult to study them in the wild because they are small, they're solitary, they stay hidden most of the time, they're only active late in the evening and into the night, so a lot less is known about them, which is why you typically think of river hippos when you think of hippos. So.
In terms of pygmies, the last pygmy hippo here was February 2013?
Yep, February 22nd, 2013. It was a male.
How's he doing?
He is doing fine. He lives at the Jackson Zoo. He's paired, I say, with a female, but they're too young yet to breed, but he will have a female that he should hopefully breed with in the next few years. So.
Wonderful. In terms of other pygmies, there was a calf that died fairly early at the Bristol Zoo. San Diego also lost one. Is this one of those species, especially since they're listed as endangered, that you guys are really watching their health, or how does other cases
so I actually oversee the North American captive population of pygmy hippos, and there is a European counterpart who does the same thing as me, and she oversees internationally all the pygmy hippos, and so we work very collaboratively on the overall population. It's very female biased, so there are way more females in the captive population than there are males. We don't know why. If you look at the mortality rates, the male calves are the ones that tend to die more often, but again, we don't know why. We have so many unknowns, which is why it's so important for us to focus on these species, because as every calf we produce and every year another animal lives on, we learn more, but we'll never know everything, I'm sure. So yeah, it's very important that we work together, because in order to keep them in our zoos, we have to work collaboratively, because 27 hippos here in North America isn't going to last forever, and same over in Europe. So we work very closely together, and like I said, we learn every day. Every birth, we learn something new.
What has been one of the biggest things you've learned so far with Mabel?
I don't She has taught us anything, but we've learned new things with her mom. So we had a different female for a lot of years who had calves, and this female is very different. Not in a bad way necessarily, just different. And so the keepers are just always learning how to better meet her needs. She's a great mom. She doesn't necessarily like the keepers, and when I say that, she doesn't engage with them. She wants to be herself, she wants to do her thing, and that's the way we like it. So.
What's Mabel like so far? Are you going to read on her personality?
I don't know. I don't work with her directly, so I don't know. I know that she earned her name for whatever it is, and that she suits that name. So.
Did they tell you why
No,
Mabel?
no, and all the keepers, they know those animals so well. They see every attribute, and sometimes names just come out of it. So, but I don't work directly with the animals anymore, so I don't know.
So what then is the next step? Will you continue to work her into the exhibit, or is she going to be there 24/7 with mom?
What we usually do is, because we can't put the male with them, obviously they wouldn't live that way, so they get the exhibit during the day, and then the male will get to come out on exhibit overnight. So, and there'll be some switch-ups of that, but she'll stay here at least until she's a year, and then we'll look at the population, and maybe she'll have a new home, maybe she won't for a while. It'll just kind of depend on if there's new zoos interested, or we lose an animal somewhere. But since she's a female, she technically, as long as they get along, could stay with her mom for an indefinite amount of time, so with no concerns.
Is that pretty typical for babies to stay with mom in the
No,
wild?
not necessarily, but with female, you can bide more time with that way rather than a male. But no, I mean, calves will stay with the females in the wild, but by a year, 2 years, they start to move out on their own. They wean pretty young.